Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LECHE. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LECHE We Are podcast. I'm Eddie Pabon, your host, Mr. Light and Love, coming to bring you another episode filled with love, energy, community, healing, and empowerment. LECHE, baby. For those of you who know, LECHE We Are is everything love, energy, community, healing, empowerment. It's a free community that is a mindfulness platform available to anyone seeking to better themselves. And a part of that, we have this podcast where we bring on amazing individuals who have, unique light that they bring into the world. We all have it, right? But today I wanted to bring a young, fresh perspective into the mix. And I have a beautiful young lady by the name of Jalissa Joy who will be joining us so we can talk some LECHE. So Jalissa, how you doing, baby?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm excellent. Thank you for coming on. It's a pleasure to have you. Hello from Nightdale, North Carolina. So Jalissa is a blogger. She's passionate about, empowering individuals, talking about tough topics, and I believe with a focus on empowering people of color specifically. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about your background. What got you into blogging? Welcome. I love you. I mean, Jalissa has such a beautiful light, y'all. We have hung out in the past several times over, but we're going to talk about everything Jalissa Joy. So tell us what Jalissa Joy is about, what the blog is about, what you're about.
Okay, so what I'm about, because the blog Jalissa Joy, it's a brand, you know what I mean? And so I think you put it perfectly. It's like my job is to take uncomfortable topics, things that people don't want to, we talk about it, but we're not talking about it.
Right.
And to really break it down, to add factual information, I'll look up things and I'll be like, oh, okay, so so-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, because sometimes people, you just don't want to do the work. You just want to have the work done for you so you can be informed on a mass scale situation. Mm-hmm. And also, I think it's really important to focus on people that are minorities, people of color, because I feel like the news or the media, they don't necessarily do a great job of telling what's important to us from a perspective that's not degrading or looking down upon us, but just something that we just want to hear from a person that we want to hear from.
It's drama, right?
Yeah.
It's just like fear energy. Fear, be scared. Next on the news.
Right. And it's sometimes it doesn't have to be all of that and that's where the joy comes in. Everything that I try to impart to people, I want to do it in an upbeat way, but you got something when you came to me, but you weren't left down and sad. You had a good time, it was funny, it was all of that. So yes, did I answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Jalissa Joy sounds like a LECHE blog. That's what's up. It's filled with love, energy, and empowerment, right? Information is empowerment. Knowledge is empowerment. And oftentimes we're subscribed to fake news mastery, right? People are reading a blurb on a fact that was fed to them by a marketing campaign that is backed by millions of dollars of psychological study and investment to get you an emotional response out of you, right? And then, they're willing to go on their Facebooks and regurgitate this information, Instagrams, lives, whatever, and just sort of regurgitate fake news. Or maybe real news, but just without the details that are necessary, just drama, right? And everything is this war of colors. And I think it's interesting that during the BLM movement, during the time of POC sort of revolution, if you will, the presidency was about color. It's always been that way. It's always been red versus blue and stuff. But but this focus, right? And I got the blue light on because we're celebrating the blue president. Shout out to Biden and Kamala and everybody doing the right thing.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of us, I guess, didn't do the right thing. And I guess that's kind of the situation that we're in right now, is how to bridge the gap.
Yes, healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is all a part of the LECHE movement. Healing is essential for you to grow, for you to become empowered, to build a sense of community and to have love. A lot of people need love. I think that, you know, today's theme for me and for y'all is to love yourselves, and to learn how to receive and give love. And when you find yourself judging things or becoming emotionally harsh or too invested, then maybe take a step back and try to turn your heart on a little bit more, right? So that you don't feel that heaviness, that toxicity of lower vibration, negative bullshit. So
100%, it'll get you every time.
So what made you interested in empowering people? Like what's your background study, or like your specialty? What made you want to get into helping other people or bring joy to the world?
Okay, so I think from what my mom tells me, she was like, I was always a happy baby. And I do remember that. Like I was always like, I'm generally in a good mood. I am a chill person though. So I know sometimes from my blog, people be like, really? You chill? Yes, I'm chill. Like I'm so laid
But
back.
I get chill from you. I don't think that you're all the way like a firecracker or anything.
Well, good. But yeah, so I'm like always been like a happy person, always wanting to bring joy to people is just part of who I am. And you know, when you get older, you know, you meet the world, and then the world is different. You know, the world is different than how, you know, your home construct is, and how your own mental, human, physical construct is. And so throughout like growing up, high school, you know, undergrad and college, multiple situations, multiple different types of institutions, and dealing with personalities, you begin to not realize, but feel as though you have all these negative thoughts about yourself. And some of them have been given to you, and some of them you have given to yourself.
Yes, but the thing is, they were given to you first, right?
Right.
So, you know, it's interesting because I'm glad that you touched this, and we're getting right to the shit. 7 minutes in, y'all. So as children, right, what you say is profound. What we receive is the programming, the understanding, the mapping of the life that we choose to live. And unfortunately, our love energy coming from our parents is a system of programming and control in the name of love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is really a concept that for some people it's difficult to grasp, but pay attention, folks. If your parents knew love as, you know, ridiculing or just blaming, shaming, do this or you're a bad person, then the construct of love comes with condition. It comes with fear-based energy, and that's not love. That's control, right? That's ego-based. And so what we're taught is to judge ourselves, to judge things, to label things to good or bad, good or bad, good or bad, good or bad. And we're constantly trying to identify ourselves within the circumstances, the environments that we're in. So I say that to say, pay attention to your programming, folks, right? So your mom, was she like passionate about, you know, humankind? Like, where did you get this joy from? Where did you get this interest in developing yourself in your community?
I think I've always been just from women in my family, especially like my mom and my paternal grandmother. I've always been very cognizant of people and, you know, how to treat people. Like, for example, one of my best friends, he, like, when we were growing up, this is way back in the day, y'all. He liked me. He like sent me some stuff for Valentine's Day. And I was like, no, I don't like you, whatever. And so when I got home with this stuff, I'm really like shortening it. But when I got home with this stuff, my mom was like, who gave that to you? And I told her what happened. And she was like, absolutely not. She made me look up his phone number. This is back when we had phone books. Look up his phone number in the phone book, call him. apologized to him. Me and him have been, friends ever since. And so it's just like taking those moments as a parent to instill in your child how to treat other people and how to have empathy and think about, because I wasn't being mean. Like when I was just being that's just how I felt. You know what I mean? But I wasn't taking into consideration this other human being and what they went through, and just to have empathy. So having situations like that, having people like that are watching over you to make sure to guide you and have you think about other people and think about yourself, it makes you a more well-rounded individual. And I've always been interested in the arts. And so my mom, she's a single mom. She did her best to to foster that, foster that love of sports, the love of acting, dance, whatever it is, that I was interested in. She tried to get me involved in those things. And I feel like art is where a lot of my empathy has come from, and being able to see the differences in other people have come from. And art brings me joy. You know what I mean? So first, like,
art is expression, right? Art is everything in life.
Yes, I'm an artist first. Like that's, how I see myself. And, art is about the self expressing itself. That is what it's about, because it's all personal. And with that personal expression, you're able to show how you've interpreted other people through your art. And in regards to like reaching out and being more conscientious, my mom was a journalist. So, she's even still to this day, like she's a teacher now, she's always watching the news, she's always like, telling me you need to do this, you need to do that. So being very aware of what's going on in the world. So you have this child, genuinely just, a nice person. Then, you got this mom that's like, and grandma, people telling me, oh, you got to be nice to people. Like you got to watch how you treat people. And then, you're being cognizant of current events and what's going on in the world. It just creates you to be an individual that, I think about. These are the things that I think about now. I think about other people. I think about what's happening in the world. I'm also trying to figure out, why are people thinking the way that they're thinking. So it just
So
grows.
you come from a place of understanding. I like what you said about empathy. Empathy is essential.
Yeah.
It is a part of, we all have the ability to empathize, whether or not we tune into that. But as an empath, I think the same way. Like I'm always trying to understand how folks are feeling, where they come from, why they think the way that they think. And I've studied that most of my life. And I think we all just need love, right? I think it's time to just sort of like stop beating each other up, stop beating ourselves up, right? It's Hey Cousin from New York City, Orlando Wilson. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's showing love, that's coming on to give love, that's out there in the world giving love, that's empathizing with people. Shout out to people like you that are doing the work and creating a space online for people to be educated and to talk about real life issues, but with a positive sort of lens, right? For the purpose of growth, right?
Yes. It's always, because the thing is like people, I've begun to find like people get upset about the difficult moments in life. They get irritated when something happens, or, at the loss of a relationship, or the change of a job, or the coronavirus. They're like going through, all these different changes. And what
it is real.
But what you don't realize is that's how you grow. If you are not challenged, rarely are you going to grow. Like I don't know anybody that either through like self-discipline they grow, or life giving them situations that they grow. Like, so it's understanding the nature of life and how to grow. Like we're gonna have difficult moments. Let's talk about those difficult moments, because quite frankly, they're positive. No matter what it is, it's going to be positive, because it's going to cause you to grow. Unless you allow it to let you just.
Unless you're festering, you're trying to stay stuck, and you all bitter, right?
Well, who wants that?
Right. We gotta pay attention to the anger that we're putting out into the world. I think if nothing else, I want to touch this really quickly. What do you think about everybody's reactions to this whole presidential situation? What is your personal perspective on the heavy emotions that are associated with two individuals and two colors and this whole dichotomy of perspective?
Colors. These colors, just the idea of colors, red and blue, and the colors that I feel like the ethnic colors that I feel like these colors represent or don't represent. That's just an interesting thought in my mind when I think about colors and what we've ascribed to these colors, to this group.
Yes, your
The
subscriptions.
meaning,
Pay attention to them.
that we describe or ascribe to them. In regards to these two, candidates, I personally, when it comes to Republican or Democrat, quite frankly, everybody's not supposed to be the same thing. You're not supposed to. So there are supposed to be Republicans, there are supposed to be Democrats, there's supposed to be libertarians, there's supposed to be, everybody's supposed to be a lot of different things. You know what I mean? Because we're different people, and you're allowed to think freely, and you should think differently too, and see things from a different perspective. However, I think the joy that we've seen from the people is because we've had a tough time. I don't care if you're a Republican or you a Democrat, baby. We have had a tough time.
It's been a rough few years. It's been a rough year. But
it's been rough. But I think because there's so many different things that I feel about the reaction that's happening. I think that the votes have shown us that the work is not done. That we as a people still are divided. And I think there's healthy, there's healthy debate. People should disagree, but again, when we talk about these colors and what they mean and what the votes mean for these particular colors, people are voting for someone that's trying to be divisive, someone that is trying to create confusion, someone that doesn't openly will admit to not caring about individuals or women or different types of people. So to me, it's not about the fact that the individual is a Republican, because I don't necessarily agree with everything Biden is for or Kamala is for.
Thank you. Yeah, it's all about right. It's about the division versus segregation versus unity, right?
Right.
And I think that for me was the defining factor. I voted for Biden simply because I can't continue to see so much more division, hatred, anger being spread. Adversity is the key to success. Adversity is your best friend, whether or not you choose to believe that. You mentioned that earlier, and you're absolutely right. Through the struggles is when we grow, right? Through the adversity is when we have an opportunity to take a look at ourselves and either keep doing the same shit over and over, expecting a different outcome, or trying something different. And if you're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome, you are by definition insane. Sorry, but there's hope for you. Just try something different and you can step right out of that insanity. But coming from the top, leaders are supposed to bring people together. And there's something else here that I wanted to say really quickly, and I would I'm interested in how you feel about it. At the end of the day, regardless of who's at the top, so to speak, I feel like as individuals, we're responsible for what we ascribe to, what we subscribe to, and what we're projecting. And if we find ourselves being enraged, ready to fight and gear up for war, for the purposes of individuals we don't even know, we don't break bread with, right? We're just subscribing to the marketing that's been pitched to us, to the color system, whatever that is. I saw something recently that where a Trump supporter was they were gearing up for war in case he lost. And when they asked him, who are you going to be shooting? He's like, the left. And I'm like, the fuck? So wait, so you're going to look to the left and shoot, or anybody coming from the left? Or how do you know? Do we wear shirts? And who's the left?
What does that look like?
It's just insanity. You have to take a look at yourself, folks. No president is responsible for your own individual growth.
Right.
Okay? You can do this. You've got this. It doesn't matter if we have a hater or a lover at the top. Who are you?
Right.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
So shout out to you for bringing Jalissa Joy to the mix when the world was all in shambles, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like it all starts with the self, and this is a concept that I've really been thinking about a lot lately. Like I feel like that's a lot of where people have so much pain, and also with like hatred and racism, and there's a lot of pain there because they're in pain themselves. And I think the reason why people don't like to see the negative qualities in themselves, because it's so much easier to put that off on other people and to focus on their problems.
Yep.
Rather than taking the time to be introspective and do the work within yourself to reveal the light that is inside of you, because we all have light,
Right. We are all beings of light first.
right.
Yes.
And like what you were saying about this gentleman that was like, he gonna be shooting the left. It's like when you really break down these abstract concepts and really get to what does that look like. And that's my favorite thing, when like if I have an argument with someone and they're like, oh, well, you don't care enough about me. Well, what does care look like for you? Give me specific examples, not abstract terms. Like, let's deal in what's real. So this individual, he's dealing in the abstract, like, I'm upset. You're upset with an idea of an institution, of an individual, of a color. But if you were to really take time and really pinpoint that, whatever you think that is, or to ascribe that, you're like, oh, people, like I would be shooting people. I don't even know what those people would look like. Then it breaks down to like, racism, because it's like, well, you will be then assuming that these particular people, feel this particular type of way.
Right. They look a certain way.
They look a certain way.
Shit in the world. Like, I think, folks, you have to expand your consciousness. Not everybody that comes from a certain place. When you say a lot of people, be mindful about that. Who is a lot of people? And we do this in many capacities. Like, we'll do it if we're externalizing, but we'll also do it when we're internalizing. So, like, I'll give you an example. A lot of people think that I'm not good enough.
So many
a lot of people.
Yeah, who is that?
Question that thought process. Who is a lot of people? I want you to take a pen and paper and write down the names, the list that your mind is feeding you of these quote unquote haters, or these people who want to see you down. Right. I promise you won't get past 2 or 3. Right. So it's like, I mean, really, really challenge the stuff that's coming up for you when it comes to hate, because that hate is emanating from with you, and the hate for any group of individuals represents you.
Right. Yes. It's you. It's what you're, again, everything is about the self. You have to search yourself to find the truth and to get healed. Like, that's Absolutely. What all the pain is. It's with you and these concepts that you've created within yourself that aren't true.
And you have to do things that, like, be like Jalissa, right? Be the Jalissas, the Leches of the world, where, like, you see an issue, you identify an issue, you want to make change in the world, and instead of getting on a video and being like, yo, come to arms, get ready, we strapping up. Like, no. Yo, love yourself.
Yeah, there's like, so much more
out there. Right? Like...
Yeah, there's so much. And I think, like, because, I mean, I've experienced this too. It's like, you'll be feeling down. And then, like, you actually think about it, like, there is a world out there. Like, instead of, like, your room or wherever you are, like, there's a whole world. Like there's legit a world, and you can go explore it. And you don't have to deal with these, because that's not what life is about. Like, when I really think about it, like, life is for living.
Yes.
And living well.
Absolutely.
It's about experiences. Like,
all experience is good experience. It is a part of the life experience. It is a part of the life process. Experience is neither good nor bad. It is experience.
Yes, and I 100% like that. That is so. I think that's also monumental, because recently I came to that conclusion myself, that life is about experiences, and I think people forget about that, or they don't realize that. And it's like, you need to be intentional. Like, you need to realize, don't think about, oh, who's against me, what's happening. What you need to think about is, what would I like to experience in my life? And do that.
Why is it a war? Like, think about that. Like, people that's out to get me and my haters, and this like sort of story that we tell ourselves about this crowd of people that's out to get us, right? And these people are they going about their life. They're not thinking about you.
They're not.
Right. So what is your background in? Like, what did you study in school? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
So my background is, I graduated from the University of South Carolina. Undergrad. I got my master's, not my master's, I do have a master's, but I got my major is in theater and my minor is in African American studies.
Yes.
And so then I went on to get my master's at the Actor Studio Drama School in acting. So that is my background, is, you know, as you can see, very artistic. And then the reason why I minored in African American studies is because I felt like I didn't know enough about my people. And I needed to learn more. And I found myself becoming very interested in our stories and in the stories of other people. Like, there's so much, like, as an artist, like there's such a great wealth of information within that. What was the other part of your question? You said, where am I from?
Where do you see, so kind of like did a
in
past,
10 years, where
future.
I see myself,
so like
in
where
10
do you see
years.
yourself in 10? So like, where's your background, but then also where do you see yourself in the future?
Okay, so let me continue on the background first. Also, I write. Clearly, you know, I have a blog, so I write things. I'm a good writer. You know, y'all tell me, y'all go read a blog and y'all tell me, but I've been told I'm a good writer. I say that I'm an artist because I do multiple forms of art. You know, I can write, I can direct, I can act, and
Sounds like I'm gonna need you in the future for that Sunrise in December movie. You know what I'm saying?
I'll come through. You know, I'll be right there. So that's been my background is also very academic, intellectual. You know, I was that kid. You know, early bird classes, AP courses. You know, nerd. Like, that's me. Like, I watch anime.
Educating yourself. Why nerd has such a negative connotation? Like,
well, I don't
why
think
when
it's
people
negative.
want to be smart and grow, we got to put that down in some way. Nerd. I'm a proud nerd. Let me tell you something. Shout out to the nerds, because they're expanding their consciousness.
You're right. They're always learning. So that's like me, kind of, sort of a. And as far as where I see myself in 10 years, so in the next 10 years, I see myself as deep in my career of acting, because I like separate the different careers that I have from each other. So I see myself having at least 2 movies, like mainstream movies, films under my belt. I see myself, because 10 years is a long time, to having a production company, I want one of my plays at least to be on Broadway by then. I want to have made a couple of short films as well. And as far as like business and philanthropy, God willing, I really hope to at least, one of the businesses that I want to have is to create, like, to create housing, to just buy up housing and land and have people be able to live there, and purposely have them not pay too much. Like, that's how I'm going to give back.
So interesting.
You know,
I don't know if you know this, but one of my long-term goals is to build a retreat and to build a camp.
you know, I heard that in one of your interviews. Yes.
I'm like, okay, this is happening on all my interviews now. The universe is like, yo,
you gotta do it.
Some shit to do. I'm on it. Okay, I'm working, damn it. That's beautiful. You know, maybe we can collaborate on that one day. And many different aspects. Build land, give people homes, right?
Yeah.
How I met Jalissa was interesting. She reached out to show love to my book. Thank you so much for doing that. Welcome. She showed not only love, she showed true love. I wanna be clear on this. Oftentimes we don't support each other the ways that we want to be supported. And Jalissa is one of those very few people who came through with the come through. She didn't not only support the book and show love and pick it up, but she also, you know, extended review, video review. Like, she came through, you know what I'm saying? And then you came through on the mindfulness hike to meditate with me, and that was dope. I appreciate you for that. Because we bonded and we got to like actually meet each other after that. one of the things that happens with the book oftentimes is like people are like, I know you now, and like I love you, and I'm like, I love you too, but I want to get to know you now, right? Like I don't really know too much about you. So this is one of the reasons why I brought you on, because I wanted to pick your brain some more. But also I got a chance to hang out with you for a few hours on the hike, and it was dope. Like we had some a moment, I think. I'm not sure, but
we did. Yeah.
And it was empowering because I felt like I was where I was supposed to be, and we were supposed to just be hanging out with each other and just passing that time together. So thank you again.
You're welcome. No, I remember that fondly. Like I remember telling, I think my mom, I was like, that was like one of the best like trips I've had. Like it was just so much love. Like and I I don't know what it is, with the world and life, but it's rare. It is so rare to be in an environment where everybody is on some positive shit. There was no negativity. There was nobody that's like saying something and it's like there's an undertone to it of hatred. You know what I mean? Or they unhappy with themselves.
Not
Like
on our hikes.
no, it was just pure. And it's like it was like being a child but an adult. Like that was the energy. And it's like everybody that is around you is just there to support you and to love on you. And I was like, man, and you out here with the nature. You getting your exercise. It's like what you got to lose to go support. And just when I met you in regards to like your book and what I read from your book, like when I read your book, I guess as those other people that have told you, like, they feel like they know you. I'm the type of person, I am not interested in the superficialities of a relationship.
Yes.
I'm interested in the deepness and the connection of that relationship. And so if I tell you that I miss you, or if I tell you I want to see you, or if I tell you that I care about you, I mean that. And I want to see you so you can feel that it is true. And not only just in the feelings, because sometimes people get confused about love. It's not just a feeling, it's an action, baby. So, if I love you, that means I also support you.
Yeah.
So that means that when anything that I can do within my means, that's not, taking too much of me, I'm going to do it. And your story was so moving. And it wasn't just the story like in the book, but it's the living story that you are living out throughout life. I can literally see you, pushing against everything. You're still striving. You're still going. You're not stopping. How can I not support that? Like, this is what people say that they want to support. No Tino shade, but do we really be supporting people out here like that though?
No, we want to support, the shade room and
right. That's what all people support. And and I was like, you got to be the change that you want to see. So if I'm saying that, then I need to do it. So here's a man and other people, that I see. I'm gonna do my job and I'm gonna support them.
And
the best way.
This is why we're here today, because
that's why we're here today.
Being reciprocated. I want to do the same for you, and I want to be genuinely, supportive to those who have shown me the love. When people that you don't know from a hole in the wall, coming from a whole other state or part of the world, showing you love more than your own family members and friends. I love my family unconditionally, but they have not been there to support in ways that people like you have, and so that speaks volumes to me. I'm getting emotional now, but it speaks to the message that I'm always trying to give people who are struggling for theirs. And it's like, don't give up. Don't depend on people that are a part of your struggle, because they don't know anything more than that. Right. And to see you raise your vibration, you got me crying, fucker. I love you. Me too. Whatchamacallit, but when you raise your vibration, oftentimes one of the consequences, unfortunately, life has a real funny way, is that you lose people who are stuck because they're subscribed to being stuck. They're subscribed to, the red or whatever you want to call it. And you lose people like that because you're faced with the reality of like, do I grow and let this go? But I want them to grow with me. I love them so much. They're all I know, So it's like a life balance between loving unconditionally, but also loving yourself enough to take leaps and bounds. Thank you again for all of your love and support. So you're gonna start housing, which I love. That's a long-term goal, right? You have a background in acting. I wish you much success in that. and I know you'll be fine because the universe is gonna find you one way or another, whether it's my budget for my movie or the one that you produce for yourself. That's a goal of mine as well. Some synchronicity.
Yeah.
What lessons have you learned?
Oh my goodness.
That you could impart if you had to just throw it at these people right now, right? For those who are watching. And I believe in synchronicity. So what you have to say will resonate to at least one person watching. And that's okay. We never for the masses, but for the heart, right? Mm-hmm. So what lessons have you learned in life that you would impart to those who are watching now? First things that come to mind.
The simplest one that's overlooked, and the reason why people say it so much is because people don't do it enough, is respect yourself. Respect yourself, because that is part of love. Love includes respect, and it's respect when you want something but you know it's not good for you. Respect yourself enough to not take what you want, but to get what you need and what you deserve. Respect yourself when someone or something, some situation seems difficult to overcome. Keep going, because you respect yourself. You're putting time in for yourself. So respect yourself. Another one is boundaries. I've learned a lot about boundaries lately. I've really been learning that, and life has taught me many a lesson multiple times until I got it. I finally feel like I've gotten I finally feel like I understand boundaries. So a lot has happened, to me multiple times, multiple situations. People, know your boundaries. Something that one of my teachers told me in the past is have your answer. Before something happens to you, before any situation, before you get in a relationship, have your answer. Know what you will and what you will not accept, and respect yourself enough to stick to it.
Yeah.
Because people, by human nature, will try to push your boundaries because they don't know where it is. So you got to let them know where it is, because they don't know. And it's okay to not know and to, but respect your boundaries. Another one is authority. That's very, very important to me. So respect yourself, have boundaries, and also understanding what authority is. And authority, is such an interesting concept, because oftentimes, especially like when you find yourself as owning a business or being in a leadership role or being a mother or a father, this idea of authority and what that means. And authority is service. That's what authority is. And people really miss that a lot. They think that authority is control. They think that authority is telling others what to do. No. If anything, when you want authority, that means you are in service to whatever you are in authority of. And you have to cater to that thing, person, business. You got to, you now become its parent. And so if people can think about authority and relate that to being a parent and what the ideals of that is what authority is. So whenever you have authority over yourself or a situation or a job, make sure you're in service to whatever that is and what you feel like you are in authority of. And I think it'll help you go further.
It's good. Yeah, what you're saying is very important. People have respect for yourselves enough to know your boundaries. Your boundaries are important because your boundaries are going to dictate the type of relationships that you have in your life. And if you have healthy boundaries, then your relationships will look healthy. Your life will look healthy. Things will feel healthy, right? The balance will be there. Mm-hmm. And likewise for, unhealthy, imbalance, bad people, well, not bad people, but just poor relationships, unhealthy boundaries. And a lot of us have unhealthy boundaries with ourselves, right? Our mind is just playing this tape of negative. You're you can't, you won't, you too. People, they laughing at you. They think no, get all of that stuff out of your head. We got some love here. There's been a lot of love coming through. Love you, bestie, from Ariana Sajani. Thank you. Hey, from Cali. NYC in the house from Brittany Del Sarte. Brad Washington. Okay, Jalissa. Ashley Pretty. Yes. Hey, Ashley. Good morning. Shout out to the whole Capital Grill family. For those of you who don't know, Jalissa and I were once slaves to the massa. And Lord, we escaped the wrath
We
of the
escaped.
garden.
Okay, you have to get out.
Yes.
And you know, and I mean, when it comes to jobs, people, that can I just
The lessons in humility that I took from that job will go with me everywhere. I have the
everywhere.
utmost respect. I just have to say this, the utmost respect for anyone in service. Okay.
Yes.
Working in customer relations and customer service, specifically in serving, is it will strip the ego. Your ego will be put to test
100%.
regularly.
I think everybody should be a server. I think that's one of the jobs that people, and you know, people say that people should be in service to the military. No, people need to be in service in a restaurant. Like that should be required because it's different. Like it's you get to see people, and then you learn to not be some of those people that you've seen.
We're mirror images of one another, folks, for better or worse. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can see myself in individuals when I'm out dining now. There's so much lessons that were learned there. I spent a lot of people don't know this, so this is actually like the first real time I'm talking about this. But I served for 2 years at the Capitol Grill on Wall Street, and that was the toughest fucking job. Now I've worked with substance abusers. I have worked in homeless shelters. I have worked in programs where individuals have had trauma. But working with the elite of the elite, baby, elite of the elite. I want to emphasize that loosely. Um, oh man, that was hard. I cried a lot. I'm a very soft, gentle person. The process of just learning simple things like that menu to be so detailed was just like, oh my God. But without spending so much time on that, the whole purpose of me mentioning that was that Jalissa and I, we know Ashley, mutual person, through having served there. And like myself, Jalissa was like, I want to use this experience to get the fuck out of Dodge. So congratulations to you for escaping Master's Plantation. Um, because that was how I felt. I felt like, oh man, I gotta get out of here. And that was the driving force to Leche. That was the driving force to the Sunrise in December.
See, it led you to growth.
Yes, adversity was the key to my success repeatedly, right?
It will lead you if you let it. If you let it, just
If
push
you
you
let
like
it,
a
and you know
seed.
what, I'm so happy about getting out of there because people like you, I don't know what happened. I know I was there. A lot of people who were there were just there, and that was like the goal, to be there to make this money because it was easy money. It wasn't easy, and it was good money, but it was so taxing spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
that I think once I got out of there and folks were like looking like, this nigga wrote a book, whatever, like. But then, like, when they saw like I got the fuck out of there and like I moved on, all of a sudden I'm seeing people getting their licenses in this and practicing that and starting their own shows and doing that, and I'm like, yes, fight back.
You
Get out
have
of
to,
there.
like, things. People, hey, because I think this is really important. Your job, you need to decide: is your job a job or is it your career?
Is it serving your pockets and
Yes.
eating your soul, or is it feeding your soul? Maybe your pockets could use some help. You know what I mean? Like, there's
Right.
balance to everything. Like, no amount of money in the world is worth being miserable. Because if
No.
you were miserable the whole time, then you are not living life.
No.
You're making money, and money, folks, let me tell you something. Money can't buy you happiness, man. I don't
No.
care what anybody says. You'll find yourself, if you're miserable without money, and then all of a sudden you have all this money, you're gonna be happy temporarily. Once you buy up everything, you wind up like these super elite folks who want to start, building cults and all kind of shit, because there's nothing left. There's nothing left. Your ego has already did everything ego needs to do, and ego needs to die. It doesn't need to live and breathe and be festered on. So for those of you who haven't done enough shadow work, take a look at what ego is. Take a look at
Please. Oh,
self.
shadow work. That's huge in acting. Like the shadow self, like it'll teach you a lot about it. Because the thing is, like, you got to people. The thing is, like, I feel like people they're running on autopilot and they have their shadow and their light doing this, and they don't know who it is. But it's like
Somebody told them just doing these things means that you have worth, and so make money. And make sure your
right.
nails are done, and make sure your hairs are done, and make sure you got the Gucci bag, and make sure you got the car and the house and you need the perfect marriage, and the wedding needs to be super expensive, and the diamonds need to be large, and it's just all stressors that you don't need, shit that doesn't grow you.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these people who have all these diamonds, all these mansions, all these things, but their relationships are taxed because they need to be working 24/7 in order to sustain that, right?
Saying that, it's really difficult.
Yeah, it's a fuckery. But shout out to everybody who's doing ego work, right? Because I think
because you got to spend time with your shadow, healthy time, but you have to spend time so you know what your shadow is.
How old are you, Jalissa?
Ooh. How old do you think I am? Let's do that first.
I know you're not supposed to ask a woman how old she is, but I'm like, fuck that. I'm gay. I have like.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell people. How old do you think I am? I'm gonna tell you.
Rights. I can ask women things most men can't.
But yeah, how old do you think I am? I want to know. I'm curious.
I want to say you have like an 11-teen vibe, while you have an old soul that resonates, because I can see the light in you, right? You have, which is why you're on my podcast. Like, I don't bring on just any old body to just come chop it up. So I wanted to bring Jalissa on because she has value to bring to the community, and she's bringing joy. But just the name alone is like Jalissa Joy. Let's go.
But
I'm gonna say,
okay.
Although you feel like you fresh out of high school, because you talking about you got a master's and all that, I'm gonna date you a little bit. And you got some soul in there. So I'm going to say bad guess 28. Good guess balancing the feel of your age, 33.
Oh my God. Thank you for thinking that, like, maturity-wise, I'm 33 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
It's your bad guess.
28? I fucked that up. I did that. It was my good guess. So all right, that's cute. So you're young, so you have so much. Oh my God, forget it. And you know what? She's beautiful. Love the way she thinks. Yes. Sneak Jones, hello. So you know, when you're this young, I'm so proud of you. I just want to say that. From me to you, I'm proud of you because I'm thinking you're in your 30s, and usually people have to arrive at 30. When you hit 30, don't beat yourself up. Right, avoid the dirty 30s, where as soon as you hit it, not only do your knees start hurting, it should start hurting that you never felt before. Just so you know, enjoy the last 2 years. You're gonna remember this shit. Watch, cause it's like the day you turn 30, you wake up and shit. But you start feeling stuff. You're like, oh, wait a minute. But when you start to get into this age, people are like, you know, I should have had this, should have had that. Society told you, you know, you should have achieved all these things that aren't relevant to you in your timeline. Like, your own little individual path is yours. So give yourself credit, Jalissa, because you're doing great work. And folks, follow Jalissa. Tell them how they can follow you and show you love.
Okay, beautiful people. My Instagrams, I have 2 because Facebook says that my website doesn't have community guideline standards, so it's made my life difficult. So my personal Instagram that you can follow is Jalissa Nicole, JALISSA NICOLE, and my business that I post things purely Jalissa Joy type stuff is going to be at the Jalissa Joy. That is my 2 IGs, and then my YouTube channel. You can just search Jalissa Joy. She'll pop up. Also, all of these links are on my Instagram page. My website is www.theJalissaJoy.com. You can find everything about me there. You can find my blog there. Go read it. Talk to me. I always tell people in my YouTube channels to come and talk to me and comment to me. People think I be joking. I'm not. I will talk to you. I'm not like a weird person or anything. Like, I will, you know, give you feedback as long as it's not something stupid. Now, I might not respond to stupid because, come on. But yeah, anything else?
Don't waste her time. Yeah, definitely show her love. Follow her. She's got some joy. So, what would you say to anybody who is feeling like they might want to be starting a blog? They might want to be empowering others to talk about positive things and addressing issues that are tough to tackle. What would you say to those people? Maybe like the younger version of Jalissa who was thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, or, you know, because we all go through it. So I'm just assuming. But talk to young Jalissa, to the young Jalissas out there. Let them know what they should be doing right now.
Okay, to all you beautiful people that are just like, you don't know. You know what you do know is that you have something inside of you that wants to do something.
Mm.
So do it. And I know that sounds like people are like, but you just say to do it. No, like real talk. You need to do it. You need to, what I say is whenever, sometimes I feel like if you're nervous about doing it, just start. That's what I had to tell myself because, even though I'm a joyful person, I had a lot of situations in my life where a lot of people tried to put me down. Like, and that's not fake. That's real. People
Mm.
have come for me, said things to me, not thought well of me, and I didn't do nothing, and that's okay because at the end of the day, those people don't matter. And here's the trick. Because most of the time, that's what it is. You thinking about other people that don't care, that ain't got nothing to do with you. But here's the trick. Think about the person that you saw at the grocery store the other day. Do you know their life? Do you know the people that do or do not like them? No, you don't. That's you. So they don't matter. They legit don't matter. So put yourself in that situation. They don't matter. Nobody knows except for the people in your circle, in your little whatever, and they don't
When
matter.
you do exactly when you do what you do it because it makes you feel good and because it helps people, and know that what you're doing is going to reach the right people, right?
Right.
And that
If you
should make you
build
feel
it,
good about it, right?
yeah, if you build it, they will come. Literally. Like the people that want to listen, because the biggest thing I hear from people, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. They were like, who's going to listen to me? Because I had that thought too. The people that want to listen to you.
Hmm.
That's who. And that ain't for you to know. That's for the universe, or as I like to say, God. That's their job. That's not your job. Your job, the fact that the universe has put something inside of you, God has put something inside of you telling you that you need to do X, Y, and Z, that's enough. That's because that's pushing you and letting you know. That's the clue to let you know that the people that are out there, they will come to you. They will seek you out and they will find you and find your material. So just you got to create for them to come and seek you out because they want to see.
Yes.
The world
You
wants to see. I want to see more light. I want to see more
you
good
need
things from people.
yes, you need to shine that light. Look at all that light Jalissa got around her. She is just blinding, honey. What you call that's what you call divine intervention when the sun is just shining all over you and spreading that leche. So what she says is significant, and I want y'all to pay attention, take heed. Do what you do because you love to do it. Love yourself enough to take a chance on yourself, and give yourself credit. Things may not turn out the way you plan them to turn out. This happens to me all the time, believe it or not. I plan things and they don't work out the way I want them to, but instead they work out the way they were supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always so much more beautiful when it works out the way it's supposed to, not the way you want it to. Uh, so just still yourself, right? Love and awareness. Give yourself love and awareness. So be aware of what makes you happy, be aware of what makes you feel love, and go and do that. And those who resonate with that, and there's always others out there who will follow you and love you. Jalissa, I want to say thank you so much for coming on again. Thank you for being you. Keep spreading that joy. Keep that beautiful smile on your face. Okay. Keep setting healthy boundaries. Keep respecting yourself. Keep saying summon. And I'm here for you if you ever need any support, folks. Follow Jalissa Joy at the Jalissa Joy at Jalissa Nicole. You can see there
Yeah,
her
all it
stuff
is. All it
is
is.
ready. It's there. She has a YouTube channel, and she's bringing joy to the world. So amplify that joy. Be a part of it, right? Reach out to her. Show her some love. Let us know what you think about this podcast. Let us know what you think about the stuff that we spoke about. Let us know if you want us to come back on and talk about more things, right? We're open to, like Jalissa said, reach out to me. Don't come with no dumb shit. But definitely reach out with love, energy, community, healing, and empowerment. To speak one last time about what we were just talking about, never make assumptions about what people think about you
Mhm.
or the negativity that is proposed by your own mind, right? There have been several times in life that my own insecurities were that had me on edge, had me on defense, thinking that people were laughing and pointing because they were making fun of. And it turns out they were smiling and giggling and pointing because they were interested and turned on, right? And so
Mhm.
there's two different
Mhm.
like perspectives there. Here you have yourself, and I'm using myself as an example, an experience I had where people were pointing and laughing on the beach, and I'm thinking they're being shady and I'm ready to fight. And this is years and years ago. And then they come up to me and I'm fisting up and everything, like ready to swing, like they're about to violate. And they come up and they're like, "You fine. Oh, can I talk to you?" And I'm like, oh my God. But then these are moments, right, where you're like, check yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you are about to fight these people and they're coming from a place of love. They coming to support you. So this is your shit that you were projecting on them. That hate and stuff that was in my mind, right? That was in my heart. That was coming from me. It had nothing to do with those people. Those people were spreading love. So shout out to you for spreading love. Shout out to everybody who spreads love. We no longer have the excuse of a leader that is the reason why we choose to be hateful and bitter and angry. We are now empowered to heal, to come from love energy, and build this community again, right? Keep empowering yourself. I love you, Jalissa, and I mean that from the heart. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Is there anything you want to say to folks before we go? We got like 4 minutes.
Thank you, beautiful people, for being here. Everybody that watched, I can't see yet, so I don't know, but thank you. And Eddie, man, thank you so much. Like, people, he really is like an amazing person.
Thank you.
Like, I just really can't say that enough. Support him, because he's gonna
support her
and me too. Yes, but like it's just, he's a wonderful person, and he is exactly how he presents himself.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, folks. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, know that you are limitless, light, love, and potentiality, and the rest will flow. Take care, Jalissa. We love you. Follow her. All right. I'll see you later, Jalissa. Folks, show that girl some love. She's a beautiful soul. I love you, Jalissa. That was awesome. I love y'all for coming on, for participating. Thank you for everyone who showed love in the comments. If you like this podcast, definitely show some love. Like, subscribe, follow. LecheWeAre.com is a mindfulness empowerment platform committed to individuals who are looking to improve themselves. Okay, Jalissa is a member of the Leche We Are community. I love her for that. Thank you so much. And I invite you to be one, right? It's a free membership. You are automatically entered to win giveaway items every month. At the end of the month, we announce at least one winner of a Leche We Are item, and our products are mindfulness products designed to remind you to shift your perspective and to practice mindfulness so that you can become a better version of yourself. Shout out to Jalissa Joy. Shout out to all of my guests who have come on. And I look forward to seeing you next Sunday at 11 a.m. Peace out, y'all. Take care.